Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is King Kong, the 2005 large monster action movie. People call it a creature feature, they call it a kaiju. Anyway, it is the classic tale that has been retold, I think remade the second time. It is the second remake since the original, which is like early 1900s, and then the second one was in 1970s-ish, I think. So it's good to see it on the big screen with all of the newest CGIs and all that, and the CGI does great, and I'm going to get to all of that. So, the director is Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings, and people might shit on him for some things, but he does make epic stuff like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbits, and all that. He does make really cool shit, basically. Also, this is Jack Black's first big serious role, and by big serious role I mean out of all the movies that really hit off, this is his first serious role. He plays an ambitious filmmaker doing whatever it takes to get to the next big movie. Basically, he just wants to be a big star, wants to make the best next big movie. I think everyone knows Jack Black from School of Rock. I first saw him in Tropic Thunder and Gulliver's Travels, like one of those two first. But yeah, let's go through the whole movie, starting from the good scenes, and I'm going to start from the very beginning to the very end, and do the same thing with the negatives, because it is a long-ass movie. So, it starts as a drama with the actress Anne, and then you also meet Jack Black. He's a director, and his movies they describe as not quite making it, but he does have potential. So he's like on the cusp of making a really, really great movie. You know what I mean? One of those situations. And they meet in a chance encounter. Jack's looking for an actress and she's looking for a movie, and then they team up. So they're on a boat, and it kind of switches to a romance slash suspense because they want to shoot a movie on an island, but turns out to be a cursed island called Skull Island, and there might be a man-eating creature on that island. Just maybe. It's possibility. Possibility. They like tell people stories that the natives passed on. Anyway, simultaneously on the boat, it's like a whole boat sequence. Jack, who has a big nose, and Anne, the actress, starts their budding romance because Jack's nice and Anne is pretty, but they kind of see Jack shirtless really early on. So I don't know how solid this relationship is, but it is pretty solid because of what we see in the rest anyway. So then it switches to horror, because as they sail deeper, the captain decides to go back home, because of course. But the compasses aren't working, there's no stars in the sky, and they find a mist. Suddenly they hit the island and a storm breaks out. They get stuck because there's rocks everywhere, like there's a little bit of action here, but the action obviously you get there when they start exploring the island. So then they do. They get to the island, and there is a suspense and horror aspect because they see a giant skeleton, which immediately tells you that there's something big, like there's a huge skeleton, like dinosaur-sized skeleton, and they don't reveal that there's dinosaurs yet because they are not spoilers. Sorry, spoilers as after I say the thing anyway. So there's immediately a trace of something isn't right here. This island is very weird, and it's not just a rock formation. You can see it's a skeleton. Anyway, so they first meet the flattering natives, and they give them a very warm welcome, very, very warm welcome. And they start seeing the horrors of the island because Anne gets sacrificed to Kong, and Kong takes her. I'm gonna call him Kong because King Kong is just too long, and I wanted to call him Monkey Man, but that's funny. And Jack Black sees Kong. He's the only one who has seen Kong, and obviously he wants more because he's like, holy shit! If I can get this guy in this movie, it's tickets. Then I'm a millionaire. And the monster reveal was very cool. You kind of see just a little bit of him. You don't reveal him fully until a little bit later, like he's all in shadows. So anyway, Anne is with Kong, and Kong and Anne are just they're vibing, right? Anne just wants to be nice to King Kong, and Kong actually reveals that he's not such a bad monkey after all, even though he's a deadly beast. And then the crew get absolutely dunked on by dinosaurs and insects. And the natives? Definitely the natives first, dinosaurs second, I think insects in that chasm scene. The chasm scene, by the way, is basically the only thing I remember from the entire movie from when I watched it as a kid. Because that shit's scary. It's very creepy. There's some disgusting creatures in there, and it's very shocking to see like giant insects busy eating these people alive. Like it's pretty hectic. Anyway, so that's where the movie starts taking a dip, and it's like, okay, now it's dragging. It's dragging a lot. They decide to go fetch Anne and use her to lure him back because now suddenly they want to capture him. And then they capture him, take him back to New York, and then the whole spiel that he escapes their captivity, captures Anne one more time, climbs to the top of the tower, and then the army takes him down, and he falls, and that's the movie, basically. Okay, now for the negatives. The boat gets stuck in the beginning, and they're trying their best to escape because they just got the very warm meeting from the natives, and they're like, you know what, maybe this place isn't so great after all, huh? Maybe this place kind of is cursed with giant stuff everywhere, right? We just heard a giant roar and now we're trying to escape. But oh wait, the girl just got captured. The very pretty girl, now we have to go back. They whip out all their guns, now they're going back. No, that's not how real life works. Fuck the girl. How many people have died already? Probably less than 10, but anyway, not important. Anyway, now they're just gonna go back for the girl. And they show Kong running with Anne, and Anne is in his hand. She's kind of gripped like a fucking, like a doll. She's kind of like like the size of a doll, and he runs on his hands, and he jumps around with his hands, and obviously, she's going to get crushed, because there's no way that a human can survive the way that like anyone locomotes with something in their hand. Like anyway, and he does shake her around, but whatever. I'm just gonna suspend our beliefs here. Yeah, there's like long-necked dinosaurs being chased by raptors, and the way that they run between the legs of the long-necked guys, and none of them get crushed, ever. Like none. Like they kind of run around the people, which is stupid. That's not how that works at all. And the way that the raptors almost have this human-like, there was this. They have a human-like way that they look. Let's say there's someone to the right, and then the raptor looks. Whoops! He has a double take, and he sees another person. Then he goes in there, and then they kind of just punch them around. It's very stupid. They can just push around dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs are a little bit goofy, right? And I'm kind of on the fence about Anne trying to dance and do her little performance for Kong to impress him to not eat her, just to not eat her. Like she's trying desperately to juggle and do backflips and jumps and falling down. It is pretty stupid. I think it's pretty stupid, except for it's like a touching moment that Kong does have a personality. It's almost like a childlike personality. He is a little bit human, because he is a monkey. Monkeys are a little bit human, you know. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. Also, Jack escaping from Kong with Anne. Instead of going back down the stairs the way they came, there's like a huge staircase to like Kong's house. They use a vine and try and lower themselves all the way down the canyon, which is insane. That's just stupid. Also, Kong brings them back up because he's smart, but then they use the big bats and they hold on to them, and then the bats lower them gently into the river, because of course they do, and then they magically get from the river back to base camp. Anyway, it's just like a lot of dragging, a lot of course they do this, of course they do that. And like I said, it's going downhill. It just drags from the whole capture scene to all the way to New York. It drags in New York. It drags when Kong is chasing Jack around in the car. That's so stupid. It's so dumb. And the Kong and Anne have the scene on the ice, but ice definitely don't hold giant monkey. Ice ain't that tough, okay? Frozen lakes are not that tough. They break in movies all the time with normal humans, and it's not gonna hold a monkey. Anyway, it's stupid. And then the whole, I think a monkey takes 5 minutes to die. It drags. Also, there is a super cringe moment at the end, um, where Jack Black said, "It was Beauty who killed the beast," when he's looking at his body, and it's like, you didn't just say that, right? You must have heard how stupid that sounded. So that's all of the good and bad scenes. There's actually a mixture of both because the suspense and the building up of the island was actually pretty good. But then from the cavern scene onward, it just, no, well, like after the cavern scene, it just starts dragging a lot. Also, I have a lot to say about Kong, the character, King Kong. He is tough. He wins a 3v1 against three T Rexes while still holding Anne in her hand. Just gonna ignore that he doesn't crush her, but anyway. He is smart because Kong held. I'm gonna get his name. I'm gonna put him up. This guy here. He holds him, and this guy. They're like having a standoff. Who's gonna make the first move? And this guy pulls a gun, but Kong throws him around. Well, he like kills him because he knows he's gonna do something dangerous. Kong doesn't know what guns are, right? He has never seen a gun, so he's a smart monkey. He's also lonely. He's a lonely monkey. He took Anne to his house, his cave house temple thing, and we see skeletons of other Kongs, which I can only assume is his only remaining family. So he's the last survivor. Shame. But I say shame because he is still dangerous, and he is in New York, and he does trample hundreds, I'd say, hundreds of people. He does kill a lot of people in New York City, definitely. And it was confirmed that 17 people died on the island, and who knows how many natives he killed with sacrifices and just kind of stepping around. So Anne defends him, but you could say Anne tried to build up a relationship with him because she tried to teach him the word beautiful when he looked at a sunset, and she tapped her chest, and then in New York when he saw the sunset again he tapped his chest, but he might have thought that she was referring to the sunset and not the word beautiful because he can't speak English, whatever. So overall, it starts with drama, has romance, there's a lot of suspense, it's horror, there's like the scary cavern scene. It's like a roller coaster of events, unfortunately cascading into like a long drawn out 2 hours and 20 minutes. It is a long movie. But the suspense is what really gives this movie a lot of praise. They see Kong's footprint and they reckon like he's 25 feet. They see the architecture that they say is hundreds of years old. They make huge spears, like there's towering spears because obviously it's a giant creature. Like you see all these hints of something big, and then it's revealed that it's him. It's so cool. It's really cool. Also, the music is great. The shots are great. The compositions of everything is great. I wanted to say something else. I can't remember. But sometimes the frames drop. Like you see what people like. Some really bad slow motion has like less frames than the rest of the movie, but this has less frames to show you how distorted some confusing scenes are. Like there's some chaotic moments with the tribes and all that, and the native people, that everything's happening all at once, and there's the frame drop with like a bunch of blur. It is cool that they have that. And the characters themselves are kind of niche, but really Jack Black and Anne are the stars. Unfortunately, Anne, because she's like the main catalyst of the whole story. So overall, let's get to the rating. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. This movie is 3 hours and 20 minutes long, and it does drag. There is a lot of cheesy stuff around. There's some unbelievability. There's some stupid decisions that obviously work out. But the suspense is great. I was sitting there and I was like, I can't believe I forgot how cool this was. Because, like, the island revealing itself slowly but surely as this horrific place with these ancient creatures and the ancient civilizations that like this island has been isolated for this long, and there's just some horrific shit on here. It's really cool. It's honestly really, really cool. Still minusing 2 points for everything else, and it was very long. So 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. So yeah, that's the movie. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see. I enjoyed this movie. It's been so long since I've seen it. I was like, I've got to. I was just sitting there like, oh, King Kong's on the list. Okay, let's just watch King Kong. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.